We definitely got to.
What's up, LL Nation? Man, we just sharing some funny stuff offline. We'll bring it to you. This is the Lucky Lefty podcast. I'm Shaun Davis at SV2 Mics. My God, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire at Overtime Malik. As always, brought to you by Honora Whiskey. Go to honorawhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey. That's right, honorawhiskey.com. As always, go subscribe, share, and like on the YouTube channel. And don't forget, we're also available on Apple Podcasts at A2S Network. That's A2S Network. Great show today. As always, we have to put somebody on the petty train. But before we get to that, we're going to talk about the running back situation at Notre Dame, how it's shaping up. And then we're going to get to Marcus Freeman being at the big boy table, throwing out scholarships that would never have been thrown out under a previous regime. And also transfer portal. What's to come? Nick Saban warned us, and we're starting to see the fallout. Guys winning national championships, transferring to the team that they just beat in the national championship game. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy. And then we'll also talk about, give a little review of Inside the Garage, their podcast, some interesting things that were said on that podcast. We'll cover it all and then talk about your comments and your questions that you have for us. Always feel free. Let us know where you're tapping in from. We want to know. We appreciate you, LL Nation. So let's go. Let's get into it. The running back situation and running back room at Notre Dame has been one of the most productive rooms at Notre Dame over the last decade. Whether they have a running back coach, whether you like Autry Denson as a recruiter, whomever they bring in concert with Harry Heastan or Jeff Quinn as the offensive line coach, the Notre Dame system and offense has been able to produce at the running back position. So my question to everybody today, LL Nation, how comfortable do you feel with the running back room going into the next season? How comfortable do you feel about the running back room going into next season, the spring and the fall? And I'll start with this. The Fiesta Bowl, in my opinion, was a one-off. That was just that was not representative of Notre Dame's running game, but Notre Dame's running game was below standard or below the standard or below the norm all year long. So do you attribute that to, because we know how good Kyron is, do you strictly attribute that to the offensive line and its struggles, or was it something more to that? Because
it's hard to say that Kyron was that big of an impact on the team where it affected the running game how it did, but I was a little disappointed in not seeing just the overall effectiveness of the room,
yeah,
not just an individual. I thought, yeah, maybe individually some will struggle, but I thought we was gonna see a lot more action, which I can't blame it all on the running back room because we threw the ball 68 times. So you're taking a small sample size and saying we didn't do well at it, but I don't think it was a fair enough chance for how young a room is like that. I think you can throw it 68 times with a guy like Kyron because Kyron can make 23 rushes or 23 touches or whatever the case is, more productive than what a young room like that needs. A young room like that needs the ball at least 50 times, 10 each person, to get going just to fill out the game. And it was against a good defense. So, you got a lot of factors included in that as well. I do think that they did get the experience that I wish Tyler would have gotten in that game, because I do think that they'll be ready for the Ohio State game. They're looking to run hard. We already seen them apologize 50,000 times on the internet. So I do think they'll have a better performance than what they showed in Fiesta Bowl, which is great, which is what we want. But at the end of the day, we have to show more commitment to the run game. And I think, like you said, it's not a reflective uh, moment on what will look like on the offense. I don't think he'll trust Tyler to throw it that many times. But I do think we'll see a consistent running game develop uh, through this next season, especially through the spring and the fall camp.
So with that being said, give me Kyron's been the bell cow. Do you foresee a situation where Chris Tyree is that bell cow, or do you think one of the younger guys becomes that hammer to the nail for the Notre Dame running offense?
I think one thing we saw that was really nice is how they used Chris Tyree in the first half at the Fiesta Bowl, putting him on some motions, giving him some handoffs, throwing it to him a little bit, him working in the special team. So I don't think we'll see more of direct handoffs like we did with Kyron, but I hope to see more of what we did in the first half, just more of it in the next season. I don't think they're going to change the identity of the type of player he is. I don't think he's an in between the tackles kind of guy, so I don't think he'll be the bell cow like a Logan Diggs can be.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's more of a specialized player, some of a hybrid between of a Amir and a CJ Sanders. So it'll be interesting to see how Tommy gets creative. It all goes back to what his offense going to look like. I don't think too many people really know, especially after looking at the Fiesta Bowl. We know it's not going to look like that.
So we have incoming Jadarian Price, who, in my opinion, he had a fantastic senior season. The difference I saw from his junior tape to his senior tape was phenomenal. So I'm very excited to see him get some snaps. But we talk about Logan Diggs and Audric Estime. You've been behind an offensive line and you've had different types of running backs next to you. You've had a Torian Folsom, you know what I'm saying, that was pretty much LaShawn McCoy-like. And then you had a CJ Procise next to you, a speed back. You want to get to the outside, get him into space. What do you see Harry Heastand doing with the offensive line that maybe they didn't do a lot of this year? And what type of running game do you see with big guys like Logan Diggs and Audric Estime, as opposed to what they might do with a Chris Tyree?
I think those are punishing running backs when you think of Audric Estime, especially in the sense of what Harry Heastand is definitely going to do is work on second level, reaching for that O-line and those combo blocks from the interior guys, getting to that second level, those linebackers, and reaching for those safeties even potentially when we want to do the 4-minute offense that I feel like it has to be a part of the game, having a Harry Heastand. You want to close out games, especially with the run game. So Audric Estime will be perfect fit for what a Harry Heastand gives you. What we've seen, I think CJ was more of like a DeMarco Murray, trying to hit the edges, a speed bag. He's going to hit downhill and maybe give you something, but he's more just going to run past you. And then Tarian, like you said, was a great all-around back in between the tackles. He wasn't the fastest, but he's going to get behind those blocks, which we were really good at, during the time we were there. So I really feel like they don't have quite a Tarian, but I think a Jadarian Price would be more suiting for all-around back that they will fit best with what Harry Heastand's trying to do. But in closing out games, I think Estime is definitely the one to kick it off with. Logan Diggs is a guy like starting the game, somebody that I feel like those can give you early momentum if he's given the right chance. And I think all the running backs are going to be given their own unique chance with an offensive line that's going to give them time. As long as they're not getting hit at the line of scrimmage like we were in the Fiesta Bowl and even in Cincinnati in some cases, I think that's going to be the biggest notice of change. You're not going to be seeing guys just getting us from no yards in the backfield.
So you have this experience and you can speak to the fan base really about what Tyler Buckner sees or what a Logan Diggs sees, right? Because Logan Diggs wants to, and Kyron was a very patient runner. Logan Diggs was very similar, very patient runner. How impactful is it when the offensive line isn't able to reestablish the line of scrimmage or to open up holes when you're a patient runner? How does that impact your style? And a lot of times we said after games that Kyron tiptoed a little bit too much this game. But I mean, if nothing is there and he's waiting patiently, trying to be Le'Veon Bell and wait for that hole so he can burst through, like how impactful is that for a running back and in the RPO game for a quarterback like yourself and what Tyler Buckner might be looking at?
Well, as a quarterback, especially you watching it from behind after you hand it off and you see that there's nothing there. I'm more like, all right, just go ahead and hit it and fall so we can move on. But as you've seen Le'Veon kind of change the game with some of the inspiration he's been able to have on being more patient. But you got to think, in the NFL, those collisions and blocking is a little different than guys going full out on Saturday. Those guys on Sunday are more strategic about just laying all out for the run, so you can do
All
a
right.
little more patient running. In college, everybody's moving as a unit, everybody's selling out, going hard as they can. So the running style for Le'Veon in the NFL is way different than college, even though being patient is important. But in the case of what we were looking at with Logan Diggs getting in there and being too patient, kind of tipping a little bit, sometimes you got to just hit it and go, especially knowing that the offensive line is not going to give you the amount of time to develop to the second level that you'll need to be able to do that, because we struggling with the one-on-one. So
Right.
sometimes you just got to run through some arm tackles, which you work on the individual drills. But I think that's an experience that they've had, that they've seen from Kyron, and they've watched Kyron do it for so long that they're like, okay, I'm gonna do it like Kyron. I mean, that's a natural thing. But with Harry Heastand improving that offensive line, the styles will come out more. You can see more of what the difference between a Logan Diggs and a Estime and a Jadavian Price and just a guy like Chris Tyree. Even I think Chris Tyree is going to benefit just because he's going to be in space. And the best thing that Coach Easton does, in my opinion, is ability to stretch on those outside zone runs and get the line running so you can stretch and pierce. And that's something that Tarian was really good at, and CJ became really good at, was piercing those stretch plays and increasing the defense for some yards.
The offensive line for me under Harry Heastand was always supremely athletic. And maybe I was wrong. Because, like, the way Quentin Nelson would get up to the second level, like, it was too, like, how did this dude get to the second level that fast? Like, we saw how nasty he was picking up. Of course, everybody remembers the hit on the blitzing DB from Georgia when he came across and just earholed the dude. What is it about Harry Heastand and how he teaches? Like, when you're a quarterback and you're behind that offensive line and he's screaming at them and telling them something, are you saying, yo, I didn't even think about that? Or are you saying, yeah, he's right? That's what I've been saying.
Yeah, 99% of the time you'll be like, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Like, that makes sense. Like, these are good coaching points. Some of the time when coaches be yelling, you be like, all right, you telling me something I know. But Coach Easton would be telling you something that you be like, you can't even be mad at him. You know what I mean? You get to cussing and going crazy, and you understand. You like, damn, I got you. One of those kind of things. However, there's levels to it as well. Like, you'll think you're doing good, but he's yelling at you to take it to another level. So that's a great style of coaching. He's bringing more out of the players, and I think that's how Quentin got so comfortable being aggressive as he was, because Coach Easton was just so, embraced it and also developed and honed in on it for him. So his ability to use his talent and his aggressiveness, I mean, it was a perfect fit for Harry Heastand to push him the right way, and it developed him into what he is today. So he stands a great guy for doing things like that.
And the most important stat moving forward, we definitely saw how impactful it was for it not to be up to standard, but yards per carry. Because I think as Tommy Rees tries to put his own fingerprint on this offense and moves away from this being a heavy running back or heavy rush offense built around the run, to attract more wide receivers, to attract the elite wide receivers, and to attract elite quarterbacks and recruiting. What's going to be important for the running backs that they want to see coming in, and the running backs are in that running back room, is yards per carry. Like, we want to keep your rushes down, but we want to give you more yards per average so that you can get similar production with less carries.
Yeah, that's right. And I think that's what Kyron was so good at, especially early on with a
Yeah.
young offensive line trying to figure it out. Is that, like you said, one of the most amazing runs he had? What was it, the Virginia Tech game?
Yeah, the Virginia
Or
Tech game for that 11-yard touchdown.
yeah, just
Crazy.
that's a 2 yard carry for a Logan Diggs early on. You know, Kyron's turning those 2 yard carries into 11 yard touchdowns, but dodging 10 guys before he gets there. That's something that Kyron made the offensive line look better with. But now with Harry Easton, it's going to alleviate at least you having to duck 10 guys, maybe knock it down to 5, right? And that's for young guys like that running back room, that's a good start to develop to get to where Kyron ended up at his senior year.
This is something I want to ask because I always wanted Notre Dame to be elite at the screen game. You would always tell me, like, bro, for some reason,
Our screens are so trash. I don't understand.
is that scheme or because, like, when you run a quick game, even the quick screens to the outside, RPOs, is that all about the quick release and the athleticism of the quarterback and his feet? Or is it more just about the design of the play?
So one of the reasons why I don't think screens was very great for us is because we wasn't a team that was dropping back that much anyway. You know, you'll see us doing all type of different shifts and gadget type of stuff. We wasn't such a drop back team like in the Fiesta Bowl. So when it came to screens, D lines wasn't really rushing us like that to begin with.
Right.
To like pin their ears back on us because we was always running or play action or some kind of move in the pocket. When it comes to running RPOs, you're really putting defenders in binds, and it's more just your decision making. Is a guy a good decision maker? Does he turn his homework on time? You know, I think that's where the weird stuff come in when you're recruiting for coaches because the decision maker at the quarterback position is so important. You know, and that's especially important when it comes to the RPO game. I mean, even Nick Foles, you're not expecting him to be an athletic quarterback, but he was famous and won a Super Bowl running RPOs.
Right.
So it's about your decision making and knowing who you're looking at and being decisive. If you indecisive, not pulling the trigger and handing it off, you're gonna be getting killed because there's no protection. You know, you stuck with the ball in the middle of a bunch of stuff going on. So it's important that at the end of the day, I think it fits more for the quarterback that's suited for it. So a guy like Tyler Buckner is suited for RPOs because he does have a quick release. You know, he can get the ball out in different arm angles, which nowadays quarterbacks are showing more of on Instagram, and you're seeing more of the Patrick Mahomes and stuff. So it's not even about technique. It's like you almost playing what's that game where you hit against the wall, that type of thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of them type of games, a wall ball or something like that, where it's just more of a get it out your hands, which is what the game is faster now. It's about getting the ball into space, and that's more or less of what it is. So that's kind of why the traditional 6'5", you know, bacon eating quarterback isn't the same type that is as suitable as some of these guys that are baseball players or rock skippers or whatever the case may be.
You know, you have Blake Fisher and Joe Alt, young athletic tackles, right? Showed themselves very well in the Fiesta Bowl against a really good defensive line. Is there, because I think most running games, in my opinion, always had great interior line from guard to guard. Like you're going to have a power running game. You know, if you want to get outside, then you need those tackles that can set the edge. Harry Easton was able to develop all of that.
Yeah.
But great centers, great guards, great tackles. The preference was always, which was strange because it seemed like Notre Dame would have a great left side. And in tough situations, that's where they would go. But it seemed like the majority of the power runs would be to the right side. And I would always think, like, man, if it was me, I would just run behind Quentin and McGee all game long. But it was like they built up early on. It was almost like going through, like the Bulls would go to Bill Cartwright the first 3 possessions, right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, we're gonna give you your touches in the first quarter.
Yeah.
After that, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
We going to Mike and Scotty. And it was almost the same thing watching Notre Dame under Harry Houston. Like, he would give the right side the first half or the first quarter and a little bit of the second quarter. And then when things got real, it was like, we're going here. You know we're going here. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's right.
And just having that type of balance and building that type of confidence along the offensive line, it has to permeate to that running back room. Because as a running back, see, that was a crazy thing. Like, Torian goes down in that first game, right, against Texas. And everybody's like, tears his ACL, and everybody's like, oh, man. And then you're like, well, we're going to move CJ from wide receiver to running back. And as a fan, I'm like, dude, we don't have another running back? Like, we got to move CJ from wide receiver to running back? And the confidence CJ had to have because of the offensive line, dude, was like, he hit the ground running. Like,
I was running that thing too now, so it was like, you know, CJ.
No one was trying to take the shine away from you, bro. We know.
No, I'm just saying, like, I always told, because I used to have CJ with me when I was taking reps, when Ev was here and like all that stuff. So me and CJ always had a real strong connection. Like, my first touchdown ever at Notre Dame was the CJ, you know, ironically. So when CJ got the running back, it was like, oh, okay, this is great, because we already had that wavelength on top of the O-line being what they were. It was an easier transition, so the holes were a little bit bigger, so it was easier for him to learn how to be in and out. And then because he was a great athlete, missing tackles when guys are ducking and dodging, Nick Martin and Ronnie and Q and Mike McGlynn, I mean, it just made it a fiesta for the run game.
Yeah. So talk to us. Tommy, Harry. Tommy asked for Harry Houston. The symmetry between those two, the ability to communicate. Ultimately, how do you see this running game from Notre Dame looking different or evolving under Tommy Rees? Because I don't think it's going to look the same as it's looked under Brian Kelly.
Well, I think if anything, Harry Houston provides great. Harry Houston provides great, like a seniority type of leadership for Tommy to on a respect level, to where if Harry Houston had to offer something in the run game, most likely I feel like they'll do it. Under Brian Kelly is a little different because, I mean, they're about the same rank, but I feel like Tommy would trust Harry Houston more with handling the run game, or trust his ideas.
Yeah.
That you'll see a little bit more of a Harry influence along with what Tommy's doing already with the different types of runs that they'll get off with more sweeps maybe, or bubbles, or whatever the case may be.
So, perfect segue, because we talk about Chris Tyree and the multidimensional running back he is, and how Tommy Rees might be using him in the running room and in the rush offense going into next season. Inside the Garage, let's talk about and review that podcast. You know, we were able to watch it in its entirety. We answered a few questions from a couple of clips that we saw on yesterday. But being able to sit down and watch the entire podcast, first of all, hilarious. I'd like to ask you, one of the things they talked about is that when you're on the football team, outside looking in, you would think that everybody knows everybody. It reminds me of, like, I remember when I was a junior in high school and I saw somebody walking down the hallway and I'm like, yo, who was that? Was she transferred in? Like, no, bro, she's been here. Word? You know, because Morgan Park was a big school. Big school. We had like 3,500 students. So, you know, you could literally go 2 to 3 years and not see anybody in high school until your junior year. And it's like, whoa. And it was kind of funny because the guys were talking about spending the bowl week together out there in Arizona. And they were like, yo, old boy is kind of cool. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Like, you get to realize that somebody on the staff or somebody on the team was like, oh, man, they're actually kind of cool. Because you're not kicking it with them, after practice, or you really don't bump into them around campus, you really don't know their personality. So that was like the first time most of them got to spend quality time around some other teammates or staff that they hadn't been put in that position with. So that was kind of cool to hear, like, okay, now you get to know, your teammates a little bit better. Was that the same experience in your bowl experience?
Yeah, the bowl experience is like it's like a big retreat with your guys that ends on a cool football note. So you get to go out maybe the first couple days with your boys and then it's just good because you know that guys think about going to the league, so you're
Right,
talking about all the stuff
right.
that they about to get into and they signing and talking to agents. So it's a real refreshing moment because at the beginning of the season you thinking, oh my God, I gotta get these yards, I gotta get on this list, I gotta do this and that, I gotta get drafted. But at the end of the season it kind of shakes out, especially if y'all good, you kind of know what's about to happen. So everybody is just in a sense like, man, let's end out on a good note, whoop this team ass and keep it moving. But uh it did change though from the Music City Bowl and then, like, for instance, the Fiesta Bowl we played Ohio State when we were hurt, but they had Zeke and all the guys they had.
Right.
It almost felt like we were still in everything, even though it was good going out, and we was even with them uh, before the game, like where everybody get to go out, and so we was all even together at some point. But uh, it's funny because they really it was really competitive. We really wanted to win that one. So it was very serious, but it was still that feeling of, okay, either way it goes, it's a win because we about to move on to the next level.
I would venture to say that the gift suites are a lot better now than they were back then.
I don't know. We got the PS4 when it first dropped, and that thing was clutch. It was clutch for music because we like the Music City, but what could we possibly get? It was like
That
we're
was
playing
Nashville,
Rutgers.
right?
Yeah, no. That was New York City. So we were playing
The Music
Rutgers. It
City
was
Bowl?
I'm sorry, not Music City Bowl. The Pinstripe Bowl.
The Pinstripe Bowl was in
Pinstripe Bowl. We was in New
Pin-
York.
right, right.
So we were playing Rutgers, and we was like, oh, what kind of gifts we gonna get? I mean, it's a whack game. Rutgers getting blown out by Ohio State stuff. So they end up giving us the best gifts out of all the bowl games. They give us the best gifts. They gave us a PS4. Like, you can get a king size mattress, you can get a couch, you can get all refrigerator, all type of stuff. Best,
Word.
and they gave us all parkas. We all got fresh New York caps from the Yankees. We all got but it was best experience bowl game gifts was the Pinstripe Bowl. After that,
No,
the
they gave
games
y'all
were
better gift bags than Derek Jeter gave his dates.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we felt like Derek Jeter's dates because they was just blessing us the whole time.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why I was young. So I was like, okay, this is what bowl games is like. Oh, we got to get right. But the games got more serious as the years went on, and it was, less about the gifts, more about, damn, we got to win. We got to win.
Yeah, Music City Bowl, of course, one of the lesser bowls, man. But Nashville is a great city. Like, yo, if you're gonna go somewhere on a weekend with your boys, Nashville is like a sleeper. Like, it really is. It's a great town.
And Vanderbilt's right down there. They got Hattie B's hot chicken. They got a whole bunch of great. Oh, listen, I'm telling you, good eats down in Nashville.
Last time I was in Nashville was actually I took my daughter on her college visit
Oh wow,
to the
to
building
Vandy.
to Vandy, and it was the weekend of Vanderbilt and who came in town. I think it was LSU. It was LSU and Vanderbilt. And dude, we're walking that Friday night, and there was so many LSU fans on the strip. And I'm like, oh, this is bananas. And the Titans played
The
that
Titans
Sunday.
across the river.
The Titans played that Sunday in town, and I think it was Eagles fans there. So it was like a crazy mix. It was like Eagles fans in town, LSU fans in town, all of them converged on the strip. And it's like, yo, this is bananas. Like, man, let me just get me some hot chicken and get back to my room.
Straight up, straight up.
It's wild out here. But yeah, it's a dope city. It's a dope city. Matter of fact, man, that's we'll allow that to be the question of the day. One of the questions of the day. It's like, what's the best kick it city? I don't want Vegas. I don't want to hear Vegas. What's the
That's boring.
best kick it city you and your boys ever went to, or you and your girls? When you and your girls or you and your boys get together, what's the best kick it city? I'll give you another sleeper. That's a great city to kick it in.
And where is that?
DC.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool spots you can go to.
Man, nightclubs, bars, entertainment, wonderful city. You got to do it during the summer, though. Have to do it during the summer. All right, we'll get to some of you guys' comments in a few seconds. So, one of the other things, it was a funny story. Cal Hamilton, I didn't know this at the time, but Cal Hamilton and Kyron were actually at the game.
I believe it.
And Cal Hamilton was talking about how Kyron was on the field. And he was up in the stands in the ND section. And like, he was texting Kyron like, how you get down on the field? And he was like, I just walked down on the sideline. Like, I just came down the side and walked down the sideline. So Cal tried to do the same thing, right? So he does the same thing. And security was tripping a little bit and kind of talking about like kicking him out for a little bit.
No, straight up.
And, if I was Kyle Hamilton, I would be like, you didn't see me take my helmet off first game?
See, like, that's why we need more of that. That's how we need more of that. They ain't recognizing.
So that was cool that they were both at the game. But then they started talking about the preparation and how once again, players on Notre Dame talking about how well prepared they were. Like, we were prepared. And they were talking about how in practice, they went to that look on third down that eventually led to the Chris Tyree touchdown when they went up 14-0. And they were in practice and they were like, when we go to this on third down, they're going to check to this look. And this is what we're going to do. And they were like, when it happened exactly the way that they planned for it, they all on the sideline like, there's nothing they could do. And they all were like, as long as we were in our checks, like there was nothing they could do with us. But they were like, they're the best tempo team in all of college football. Like they run plays on an average of 7 seconds. Like they get up to the ball, as soon as the referee moves, like they're snapping the ball. They're not looking to the sideline, getting changes and all of that. Like they know what they're running. And it's simple backyard football, bro, like you've been saying. Like, this is literally simple backyard football. Spread them out, our athletes against your athletes, who's going to make the play. And they talked about basically like, it's our fault. Like, it was refreshing to hear.
Yeah, duh. Like, who else's fault? Of course.
And I felt like, put this in a time capsule so all of the fan base can hear this. Like, we stop talking about all this coaching adjustment stuff. Look, the players on their own podcast told you, this is our fault. We're upset. That cat Cam Hart said he stayed in Arizona for another week. He was that mad. Like he didn't want to come back to campus.
I don't know if it was he that mad. Arizona, a nice place to just be hanging around for another
and I
week.
didn't realize that he and Cam Hart and Kyle Hamilton are like golf junkies, dude. I fell in love with them even more, right? Because I'm going tomorrow. I'm going downtown to this inside golf facility downtown Chicago with my boy.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, like I'm a junkie too, bro. I'm a junkie too. Like I have to wean myself off of golf. Like I would literally play 18 holes every day.
Oh, you play for real?
Yeah. If I could, I would play 18 holes every day. But I have to live life, dude. I got a family. You know what I'm saying? That's how disrespect. Now I'm so disrespectful. Like if we go on vacation, because I don't do amusement parks like that, bro.
Oh, okay. That's a fair trade.
I'm not scared. You know what I don't like?
I'd rather go golf.
You know what turns me off? My time. Like I hate wasting my time. And that's
standing in lines is not your thing.
Yeah, them long lines. Like, I don't like waiting on food at restaurants. I don't care how good the food is at a restaurant. I walk in and you tell me it's a 45-minute wait, I can go find something else. I'm hungry.
Yeah, straight up.
Like, I'm ready to eat now. I'll do 10 to 15. LL Nation, let me know if I'm tripping. Like, how long should you wait for good food at a restaurant? I'll do 15 to 20 minutes. When you start getting above 30 minutes, like, nah.
Doing too much.
Yeah, it's too much good food in this world, man. I'll come back to you all on another day. So, matter of fact, have you made your Valentine's Day reservation?
See, you putting people on the spot, man.
Bro, I'll tell you, I haven't. But this is why.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It's still January, man.
I haven't. Me and the missus and I. No, the reason I asked is because the missus and I, we just refuse. We go the Monday before Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay, yeah, because obviously it's impossible to book on the day of, even months out in some cases.
Yeah, we flip flop, right? Like, odd years was her year to plan Valentine's Day, even year was my year.
Nice.
So we just came to the, after years of, man, everything's booked up. It's like, you know what? Let's just go to Monday before Valentine's Day, celebrate that day. We don't have to worry about, working our schedule or working everything around work, the weekend. Let's just do it that Monday and we're good. So that's how we solve the issue. I'm not telling everybody else to do that because I don't know if your girl or your significant other will rock with that.
That's a great plan.
No, but I'm saying you go early in the week, you celebrate, and then the actual day, you exchange cards, Netflix, and chill.
That's it.
While everybody is out dealing with the hustle and bustle. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with that.
But no, he stayed behind, and just to, yeah, I would do. I don't like amusement parks. I don't like the wait. And so literally I take my golf clubs and I let everybody else go to the amusement park on family vacation and I go play golf. And I'm good. Like, I'll see y'all at dinner. I'm straight.
So you don't even need nothing. You just need your little golf clubs and you hit me later.
Man, that's it. That's it. And they're like, man, Shaun, we haven't seen you all vacation. I'm straight.
I've been vacationing all the time.
Like, my vacation is going wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. But I didn't realize how much of golf junkies they were, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I would love to play 18 with Cam Harden.
Yeah, that'd be lit. I mean, Steph Curry's a golf head too. Tony Romo, a bunch of guys.
Yeah, I couldn't bet with them dudes though. The way
you like Michael Jordan on the golf course. Maybe it's a Chicago thing. I'll just be getting all type of money.
See, I respect the game too much. The game humbles you real quick, and I respect my money too much. So I don't like to gamble on the golf course. Lucky podcast. Another thing they talked about, and we talked about this before the show, was how great bowl preparation was for the youngsters because they felt like they didn't get the same type of preparation when they were youngsters to be prepared to go in. And Cam Hart made a good point. He said one of the blessings about Cal being hurt was that Cal got hurt in the middle of the season, right? And our young guys had practiced and been prepared up to that point by Coach Freeman and were ready to come in and contribute so that the fall off wasn't as much as what it probably would have been if Cal had gotten hurt before the Florida State game and we had to go into game one without Kyle Hamilton. So he talked about that being a blessing and talked about the bowl preparation, but you kind of pushed back on that a little bit when they tried to talk about the difference because your experience was, under BK that you guys got preparation as youngsters.
Yeah, like 100%. In my opinion, I thought offensively we was prepared. I just believe because at the end of the day, at that point, we were so talented that I think the coaching got lazier because we went from preparing to, all right, we're just going to roll out here and they can't do nothing about it because we got a great offensive line and great talent around it. And when that waned off, like in 2016, when I'm like, all right, We got a young team. Y'all better get to scheming some stuff up now. Or we not
Right.
going to be talent for talent, which is too raw. They didn't make the transition, and look what happened. Everybody got fired. I mean, it wasn't like I was lying, but it was the truth. And then start coaching some more. So under BK, you're just going to follow the script. I think that's more of what uh, they they weren't used to
Yeah.
after Marcus Freeman, because Marcus Freeman's coming fresh, just like how we talked about. You dating another girlfriend after a long relationship, and everything little that she's doing, you just so impressed by. She cooking, and you like, oh, you cook grits, like, oh, okay, they good like this all year round. Oh, and I never had that with the cinnamon rolls too.
Yeah.
Oh, so you folding laundry and doing, so different stuff that you may not be used to is more enamoring, especially when you like the person.
Yeah.
So with Marcus Freeman coming in, they thinking like, oh man, we going through boot camp. It's great.
Right.
This is I've never seen anything. Yeah, you haven't
Right.
seen nothing like
Right.
that. We've
Right.
been used to the same thing. We in a new whip. When LeBron got in that Hummer when he was 19 from Nike, it was just, it was different. That little Hummer was different. So that's all it is. But I do think that hopefully it transitions for them like we saw. They didn't come out flat in the first half. So maybe the practice change up has been great for coming out better and maybe being prepared better for the future. Because like JD Bertrand said, he said they got us right. I don't know if we got to play it, but you already know what JD Bertrand says. So
You know what he said, bro. Every time somebody starts talking about coaching and adjustment on the bowl game, it's like, come on, man. Y'all need to stop playing.
He prepared us really well. He had us ready for the high tempo. He had us ready. Like, it wasn't schematically. It was the little details of we missed tackles. We didn't win the 50-50 balls, those little details. And we need to make sure we do that better. And it's on us. And going into the next season, I just want to make sure I focus on the fundamentals, the little things like finishing leverage tackles, not going 1-for-1 for blocks, just every little detail, just being able to enhance it. And then just being able to take that next step in leadership and be able to help this team become the team that we want to become.
That cat JD was still feeling the effects of that tempo. Do his hair
yeah.
My man couldn't even fix his hair out of the shower.
Like, because the ball was going so fast, he can turn on which way. His hair is all over the place. Going crazy.
It's like, yo, that was the best thing. It really was a blessing, man, because it really let you know what was going on. And we're going to get to why that particular piece of video connects to what Marcus Freeman was doing all day yesterday. Like, real talk. We'll get to that in a few minutes. It's the Lucky Lefty podcast right here. Shaun Davis with my boy Malik Zaire. We spin it different. I saw a comment that I wanted to bring up right here. Let's see. My guy, Brandon Stanton. Get a cooler, ice down, a 12 pack and play 18. Nothing better, Shaun. Now, I agree. It's nothing better than playing 18. But that 12 pack, come on, man. I don't understand how people drink beer and play golf. Golf is already the most difficult game in the world to me.
But that's why you got to relax. Just like Shane Battier used to hit them 2 Miller Lights or Bud Lights or whatever before every game.
So you telling me the beer relaxes the nerves?
I mean, what else can it? I mean, it definitely don't help. I don't think it increases your accuracy or precision or nothing. But I do think them times when you want to break your golf club because it done hooked on the hole, you be like, you know what? That's okay. I'm gonna get right instead of breaking your club.
Man, that's crazy. Here's somebody for you, man. I know you know about this, Eugene Williams. Ain't no other park I know or mess with other than Cedar Point. It is the roller coaster capital.
See, we got to chill, Eugene. We talk about Kings Island. Okay, I'm going to give you a gem from Ohio. It's called Kings Island. And what's even more special is right attached to Kings Island, you got a water park. Something you're not going to find too often, not only in the Midwest, but in the country of that type of quality. Yeah. It's a one of one. It's not a copy like a Cedar Point or a Six Flags, It's one of one. It's in Cincinnati, Ohio. You got to go.
I got Will Chestnut. I was at Disney World last week. Honestly, you get used to waiting in line. Well, first of all, I get the pass, and because of where I work, that's the hookup, since Disney is the operating company for the network. I was listening to this pod in line. Yo, we appreciate you. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's what's
you
up.
Was killing me, and my bro was that Tyler Buckner pod a few weeks back. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, hey, by the way, the best time to go to Disney World, I don't care. Look, man, if you have kids, take the holiday spectacular. I think it starts like the middle of December and goes up until New Year's Day. The park is filled with like free cups of hot chocolate and all types of cookies. Free. And everything is like 60, I think it's like 30% off, 40% off regular ticket prices.
Interesting.
Yeah, because everybody comes in the summer. So they had to do something to get people to come down in the winter. So
and if you go to the one in Florida, you'll find a Nora whiskey at the resort real soon.
That's what's up. Really?
Yeah, we got a plug over there. So
now I have to get out to the joint in LA because my baby girl told me that the Avengers joint out there is ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah, they finally opened the Avengers thing out there at Disneyland. She was like, "Yo, you got to go see it. Like, it's amazing."
Yeah, and the one in Anaheim is pretty cool. It's just a smaller version. You go down to Florida, it's just so much bigger. It's just different,
No, Florida is too much. You can't even get to everything. If you take a week, you still won't be able to get to everything.
It's like a city or something.
Man. And I'm a kid. I'm a kid when I go. Like the Fantasmic show at the end of the night at 9:00, I need to see it. The laser show.
I need to see it.
I need to see it, man. I'm like a big kid. I love it, dude.
After that 18, you gotta go,
I mean, every time I see Mickey walking the streets, I'm like, yo, they go Mick.
Mick.
What's up, Mick?
My God, what up?
Oh, man. So, yeah, it was very refreshing to hear them, kind of take responsibility for the game and say, yo, that's not on Coach Freeman. Like, he had us totally prepared. And he told us that they're going to go. He pretty much laid out the game. He said, we're going to dominate them. There's nothing they can do with us. They're going to go to the only thing they have, which is the tempo. And if we make plays, we win this game. He said they told us that. He told us that. And it played out the same way he told us. So it had nothing to do with preparation, had nothing to do with coaching. We just didn't make the plays.
Didn't make the plays.
Hey, man. So that was refreshing. And I hope all of the Notre Dame fan base can kind of like woosah off that Fiesta Bowl now and just say, okay, we just didn't get it done. We just didn't get it done. Let's move on to 2022. So, Marcus Freeman. We thought the Carnell Tate, great interview. Go watch it. If you haven't watched it, let everybody know. Retweet it. Get it out there. Let everybody know it was a great interview. The IMG, 5-star wide receiver target for Notre Dame. Chicago kid, great interview. We love talking to him. Notre Dame, Tommy Rees, Marcus Freeman went back to IMG. They were there Friday. They went back yesterday. Not only did they go back, Marcus Freeman walked straight into the coach's office, sat down, and said, I need to see your roster. He pulled out the nice little laminated roster. Marcus Freeman was like, I want him. I want him. I want him. I want him, and I want him. Unprecedented. Because usually we go after one athlete at IMG, and that's it. Like, okay, we want Houston Griffith because he's a Chicago kid. He's a local kid. Maybe we can get him. Marcus Freeman walked in like, man, give me your top 5. Give me your best offensive lineman. I want both of your linebackers. Give me both. I want both of your linebackers, all right? And I want that defensive end. And I want Carnell. I want all 5.
Yeah, that's right.
Big boy recruiting.
And that's the definition of shopping without looking at the tag. I mean, Marcus Freeman knew where he was going. He went to the Gucci store at the outlet.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, it's a sale? Oh, yeah, let me just start grabbing. Don't even tell me the price. I'm going to ring it up when I get there.
And I don't need the waiting room. I don't need to try stuff on.
I don't need it. I'm gonna just show it in front of the
Like,
mirror like this. I'm be like,
yes, that's it.
Okay, that's it. Throw it in there,
Bro,
and we're good.
This right here, I already got the shoes to go with this.
Already got the
shoes. Buy no shoes to go with this.
Yeah, he said I got the tooth fairy. They done treat me real nice. I don't have to be stingy. I'm not a one item guy today. I got I'm going grocery shopping, and that's exactly what you want when you're talking about how are we going to close the gap. You got to go shop for the better ingredients. You gave a Dayton kid, the Wright brothers are from Dayton, Ohio. If it wasn't for us, we wouldn't be in this aviation game. You know what I mean? But you gave a Dayton kid a PJ, not the ones you pack for your son or your daughter going to school in the morning, but the PJ you get on to go around the country, to go grocery shopping. And Jack Swarbrick gave the keys to this man, and he coming back with some ingredients, something like ratatouille. Call him Marcus Freeman ratatouille. He gonna come in there and cook something crazy.
Yo, he said, slow up on hiring these coaches, man. Let's use that money for this gas on this PJ. That's what we need right now. Let's pay for this gas for the PJ.
Yeah.
Stuff to make. I got to go from Texas to Florida, back to Texas.
Yeah.
Like a span of 36 hours. Let's make
it. He's shopping where it's hot at.
Oh, sure.
he ain't shopping in no cold weather client. He ain't going
Texas
up to no
Florida
Canada. He going to the best outlets, and that's where the sun's shining. He's shopping where them other big spenders, the Bama and the Georgias, is shopping. He said he looked on the magazine. He said y'all fresh.
For sure.
He said I'm trying to get fresh. Like I got to go shop at y'all store.
For sure. Like in 2
or 3
years,
went straight down there.
2 or 3 years, like real talk. I'll never forget. I was in the store. I'm not gonna name drop, but I see this entertainer walk in, right? So I'm like, yo, this dude is shopping. And he walked out. And so when I got to the counter, I'm like, yo, did he just man, he didn't want his stuff? And they were like, no, he's in the system. We'll ship it to him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, snap. That's how Marcus Freeman's going to get to that point at IMG.
Yeah.
In a few years,
you ain't got to come by.
Phone call, hey, coach. I want him. I ain't got to come see you face to face. I'm in the system. You already got the address. You know the address to the Google.
And shipping is free.
That's right.
Shipping is free.
We'll pay for that. Don't worry about that. We got the shipping covered. We're going to pay for that. Just send that 5-star. Send that 5-star tackle.
They just going to send them a little pamphlet every year. Little brochure. Who are you shopping for today? We're going here and put the order in.
There's nothing worse. It's nothing worse. Maybe not you, bro, but it's nothing worse than going to the mall with your girl or your sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because women do it different. They got to try everything on. They got to buy something from here, then go get something to match, to put the outfit together at the other store, go buy the shoes. Well, then they'll get a bunch of stuff and then realize, no, I don't want that. We just wasted 30 minutes in the spot and you don't even want anything out of here. Man, true story. I get the Polo Factory emails, man. They shoot you something 30% off for the next 3 days, right? So they sent one that was 40% off. It was right after the new year, right? I hopped up, drove out to the outlet out by O'Hare. It's a brand new fashion outlet mall. Came back, had the bags. My mother's like, that's the only bag? I'm like, yeah. She was like, you drove 45 miles for one store? I said, yeah.
Yeah, you real modest.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want anything else. I ain't got no time to be wasting my time. My time is too valuable. I'm not about to be walking around that mall. I don't want anything else in the mall. I was strictly going there for the Ralph Lauren horse. That's it. They sent me 40% off. That's why I went. I did it. I'm done. I'm back at the crib.
With a fresh one.
You would have spent the entire day out there. You would have had lunch somewhere. You would have shopped some more, then had dinner. I don't have all that time. No. That's Marcus Freeman. He's going direct. I don't have time. Yeah. I got an hour to spend with you, man. We don't need to talk about the school. I don't need a tour. Let's come no tour. Show me this roster. I'm going to circle who I want. Yeah. I'll let them, and I'm out of here because I got to be in Texas in 3 hours.
No, I got to slide to Tampa.
Right, to
I
Tampa.
don't want to miss
Tampa.
out.
Right. I slide to Tampa to get another linebacker, which we'll talk about.
Yeah,
And then
that's
after
right.
that, then I got to go to Allen High School, who's the back-to-back champions in Texas, and tell their coach the exact same thing.
Yeah, he said, I'm trying to beat the sun.
Right.
You're over here wasting time. I got gas mileage, Delta. I'm trying to increase my mileage on. I like being in the air, guys, and I want to be able to come here and show my face, show that I'm coming to be for real, and you don't have to worry about the little guys coming. I'm coming,
man,
because that's important.
Our boy Juan Lozado checked in and said JD Bertrand looking like Jake Paul after a fight with Mike Tyson. That's funny.
They're getting 34 on the answer. Look like Mike Tyson.
Oh, dude. Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Talking about Marcus Freeman. Now, the position that he was going heavy on yesterday, we talked about how this relates to Tommy Rees, right? And Tommy Rees has to get out of his comfort zone to go get guys like Dante Moore. And we talked about on yesterday's show, Tommy Rees has been putting in work from everything we're hearing from recruits. Tommy Rees is putting in that work. He's building great relationships with quarterbacks and wide receivers in the 2023 class. That's something we like to hear. But that cat, Marcus Freeman, is hell-bent on changing Notre Dame to linebacker U, bro.
Yeah, he said, if anything, me being a linebacker, in my experience, we're not going to be anything but linebacking you first. O-line U's great, all that, but we are recruiting as many linebackers as possible. We got the one in 2023 as number one. We got Jalen Sneed, got Prince Collins. It's going to be a fun time watching how that develops, because I think, and even with the defensive coordinator, it doesn't even matter, because Marcus Freeman is making sure that the one thing that you're going to know about Notre Dame is that we got them linebackers. That middle of the field is closed for business.
Right.
We're going to have a lot of things running and flying sideline to sideline, and he's making it a point that if anything else, he's going to have a top defensive class and defensive unit in the country.
Like, he already got the top linebacker core coming in for the 22 class. Drake Bourne's a great start for the next class.
That room going to be filled with a lot of weights and protein.
Man,
I'm telling you that.
We're about to get busy. It's going to be linebacker U in a couple of years at Notre Dame. We talked about changing the U's at Notre Dame. Linebacker U is coming.
It's definitely coming. And it's good because, I think it's going to be the centerpiece of what we look at. Even though we've had great individual linebackers through the years, great. Jalen Smith, Manti, along those lines, Owusu. Now you're going to have all three type of players at the same time.
Yeah.
That's the type of recruiter Marcus Freeman's been putting together, and he knows what the formula look like. He's been in Ohio State when he had them linebackers, Vernon Golson and James Laurinaitis, AJ Hawk, him, real deal, real deal killers. So it's exciting to see him bring that same flavor. I'm telling people it's the fighting Irish Bearcats from Columbus. You got a whole bunch of influence from those two schools, and he even hired James Laurinaitis to be a linebacking consultant, just in case you got some questions, and because that linebacking room gonna be thick. Just in case you got some questions on what you can do, holla at James Laurinaitis, because he don't really have a specific coaching job, but I do know that he's gonna be in that linebacking room, shaking things up, making it more special.
Like, we don't just have guys that can tell you about it. We got guys that did it. We got guys.
Both of us played. He played in the league. He a linebacking coach. He's just here. He whatever you gotta ask, he's right here.
Charlie Weiss, last belt loop, said linebacker and corner U. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't be mad at that. But that's the same type of attention to detail we need on the offensive side. Tommy need a guy like a right-hand man, sort of like how Laurinaitis is, especially for him having so much control over what's going on over that offensive side of the ball, especially in the recruiting sector.
Yo, Jeff Fluke, and yet linebackers were a weakness last year. Well, it wasn't on Marcus Freeman.
You can't look. He's
That's
bringing.
why I
You're
don't want
seeing,
to
if
bring.
anything, you're seeing his guys coming in. He ain't
No,
recruiting guys.
no.
He ain't recruiting
Let's
guys.
keep it a buck. He came in, he watched film, and immediately went and recruited the number one linebacking class. Keep it a buck. Like that whole comment, yes. He recognized what the weakness was. Let's keep it a buck. That's why he went and got the number one recruiting class in linebackers. Because he knew. He watched the film and said, nah.
This is not gonna get it done.
This is not gonna get it.
No, and
This is
and
good
we
enough.
see.
This is good enough to stay where we are. See, because people might take this as being like speaking negatively about the current linebacker. That's not what we're saying. If you want to win games, 10 games, 11 games,
We talking one or two games better.
if you want to win national championships, the level of play at that position has to go to another level. When you have to,
And we seen what it looked like in the championship game. We don't have linebackers that intense like that championship game.
no, and they were
Coming
going too deep.
downhill.
They were going too deep at the position. That's the
Too
crazy
deep.
thing.
Too deep. And it looked like they was fresh all game. Like, come on. We just talking to
So
what
it's
can
like,
we do to
man,
get that much better?
absolutely. So
Because these
now,
guys that we had are, I mean, come on. They're good. 10 games, 10, 11 games, 8 games, not,
I guarantee you, JD Bertrand and Kaiser are on campus in a couple of months because that cat Jalen Sneed is on campus. In a couple of months, they're gonna be looking on the practice field like, okay, we gotta step our game up.
Yeah, them boys gonna be hitting them ladder drills and bags and weights
Young boys
and
coming. These young
a
boys.
lot of it too is it should raise the level of competition on the team, and it should really make these guys really in my opinion, it should really make these guys focused on what's important, and that's getting an identity. One thing, if you have it a number one recruiting class at linebacker, is that I'm thinking tough and physical off the rip.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting to see from the defense. Tough and physical off the rip, 100% pedal to the metal. We coming out strong because there's too much talent at one position that it should be able to influence the whole rest of the defense.
I saw an interesting breakdown, which is funny. I think over the last 10 years, Notre Dame is top 5 in players drafted to the NFL or players in the NFL. I think they're 5th or 6th. But then programs that produce players that are in the playoffs, that made the playoffs this year, Notre Dame wasn't even in the top 12. It was just really weird. Like, I was trying to see the correlation. Like, man, is that just circumstance? Is it elite players, guys being drafted in the top first 2 rounds that make an impact? It was just an interesting stat to look at. And I was like, yo, I'm going to keep a watch of this over the next few years to see if Notre Dame starts to make more of an indent on, playoff rosters as far as players that were drafted or came from the program.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point we see what kind of teams favor us a lot. You could say the Steelers, the Chargers are heavy Notre Dame influence. The Ravens got a lot of Notre Dame influence in there. So there's some teams that we appear on more so than others. Yeah. And I just think that it's an identity fit. You think Notre Dame, you think of some discipline, you think of high quality players, and then you think of the Steelers. They usually have some high quality players more times than not. Some players that last a long time there.
Yeah.
Chargers usually got some high quality. The Ravens, high quality organizations. So
yeah,
we fit with that. In Detroit, Detroit got a lot of our guys too, but in a program where you try to, or a team where you try to consistently be better, you need Notre Dame guys to build the team. I mean, Romeo is a cornerstone piece of the defense. So it's cool to see us even have a presence in the NFL and compete with the schools that, get the acclaim every year. I mean, even though Alabama wins it every year, we put out just damn near the same amount of players they do in the league. So it shows a lot.
Lefty podcast is almost that time of the show. Let's get to some of your comments. Jeff Fluke, my fault for misunderstanding. I get what you were saying now. But yeah, I don't know if I would call Notre Dame linebacker you.
Call it buckets you. 3 buckets players in the last 7 years or something
for
like
the
that.
award, yeah, something like that. I still wouldn't call it linebacker you though. Not from a consistency standpoint. Like every now and then we can get Manti, then we can get Jalen. It's been all right though. The position has been productive though. I'm keeping it real.
It's been productive in what we've been doing, but it ain't been screen popping productive.
Productive, but not screen popping productive.
Yeah, it's productive in winning a great 10, 8, 9, 10, 11 game season.
Yeah.
But screen popping, we ain't blowing people out by shutting people out like Georgia, you know. Georgia was a screen popping defense.
People in the chat are
like
mad. Don't be mad. Notre Dame has less players than 12 other. I think Iowa has more players in the playoffs than Notre Dame. It's okay. Like people getting upset, like, man, we got.
But Iowa's players are linemen though now. Come on now.
It's not just linemen. They got safeties, DBs, definitely tight ends.
Who's the tight end that's in the playoffs for Iowa? Oh, yeah, Kittle, that's about it.
There's another one, I forget. It's like 2 tight ends. Like, dude, it was just like interesting. And I said it might not have meant anything. The chat is going up in arms. Like, man, we got players. I didn't say we didn't have any in the playoffs. I said they weren't top 12 with the number of players from a program in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
And I didn't say it meant anything. I said I couldn't figure out if there was a correlation. Let's relax. I'm just throwing out something interesting that I saw because the chat is going crazy. Super chat, Palo 27. I think you're new, so we appreciate you. Thank you for tapping in. NILs getting new players, heading to smaller schools for that now money, but with less exposure and weaker competition. Does that hinder their evaluation to the NFL? Heck no. If you can play, you can play. They'll find you anyway. You could be cats like Marcus Ware, Khalil Mack that played at Mac schools and smaller schools. If you can play, you can play. That's the coolest thing. Like the week of the Senior Bowl is huge because that's when you really start to see smaller school guys from smaller schools really dominate and make a name for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other guys, yep. Charlie White's last belt loop. Malik, Shaun, why did Johnny Manziel call out ND? I'm just curious.
Because we becoming relevant in recruiting, something that got people nervous about. That's all. They might see that ND jet flying into Texas. Like, why are you at the airport so much, man? What you doing down here? You know this is Texas country, man.
Yeah. So he's just mad, man. He thought all the tweets about recruiting from Notre Dame fans were about the 22 season. You know, Texas A&M has the number 1 class, and Notre Dame fans were talking about having the number 1 class in 23. And in other words, he jumped into grown folks' business, and he needs to stay at the kiddie table.
Yeah, he's just nervous that even though Texas A&M doing that, they ain't get more attention than we are. So,
oh, facts. Our girl D Beezy, Shaun the slander. I'm sorry, my sister, but y'all take too long at the mall, man. Y'all take up half of my day. Half of my day. Like, know what you want when you go there. Grab it and let's bounce. That's all we're asking. You don't have to try on 5 pairs of jeans to not buy one of them.
Yeah, that's the problem. Y'all don't be getting nothing. Y'all do all that and not get nothing.
Nothing.
It'd be different if you did all that, had serious delineation. You got down to 2,
right.
and then you trying it on like it's really important because you're gonna wear them every day. I'm assuming if you're doing that serious research, and then you'd be like, I'm good.
So you know how it is, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about the running back position at Notre Dame, the changes that look forward to, the evolution of the running game under Tommy Rees. We also got into how that running back room looks going into 2022 and what to expect from guys like Aldrick Estime, Logan Diggs, and Chris Tyree in the offense. We got into a little bit of Inside the Garage podcast and talking about some of their comments. And then we talked about, Marcus Freeman and the way he's shopping at the big boy table. Very, very happy about the work that he's putting in along with the rest of the staff and specifically Tommy Rees. So, man, everything is looking up.
Yo, it is great because now we can sit back and we can watch it develop in the spring. We can evaluate with an open mind that things are fresh, that we're moving in the right direction. And on top of that, we can feel good that we know that it's not going to look how it has the 12 years before. So if that means anything of change, hopefully that makes us the one game better it takes to give us a chance to feel better about being in these playoffs and win a national championship.
You know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing. Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty history? Petty Junction.
That's right. Petty Junction, each and every day. Petty story of the day. Yo, I got to put 50 Cent on the petty train, my brother.
Why is that?
Yeah, you know, man. Defamation of character goes back to a beef he had with Thierry Marie. You know, he posted a video, man, that was unbecoming. And, she didn't like. She blamed him for it. He sued her, things like for 30 stacks, but he did it because he knew she didn't have it.
Rightfully so. I feel like if you do something that you know is not right, then you should be responsible for how they react. You can't tell them how to react.
I mean, I agree to a certain point. I agree, but look, man, 50, let it go, because he's still talking. 50's just the worst troll of all time, man. He's just super petty. He's on a petty train. He's posting on IG about it still, talking about I need my 30,000, and that's interest that's 35 now.
Yeah, straight up. But could you put all this pressure on me? Defamation. I hurt my feelings. You got
that dude feelings ain't hurt. You need to quit, man. Hey, 50 just did. He just woke up one morning and was like, "Oh yeah, man. Matter of fact, let me mess with her today."
Yeah, let me go ahead and collect that. You can go on this and give me that 200.
Dude, stick to the power universe. You know what I'm saying, and get some better writers in there that can actually stretch out the storyline.
Wait a minute. We're not gonna do the power slander because it's a great storyline.
Yeah, bro. Stop.
And on top of that, it's competing with some of the greats.
Stop. Really?
It's better than The Shy.
For real? Come on, man. Now, I'm upset. Like most Chicagoans, we don't like the portrayal of The Shy. People outside of Chicago. People outside of Chicago love the show. People in Chicago, we're like, dude, you're not even filming on the South Side. Stop disrespecting us like that. Stop filming up north, trying to portray it as the South Side. Like, if you can't sit down with the people that run the blocks and get permission to shoot on the block, that's on you.
That's on you.
That's on you. And Lena Waithe, you know, after 12 years on the South Side, she eventually moved to Evanston. So I know a lot of people like trying to take her card. But 12 years on the South Side, you're a South Side. Just because she graduated from Evanston Township, I don't play that game. Like your formative years on the South Side of Chicago, you're good with me. So 50 Cent, leave Tierra Marie alone, man. Stop trying to bite into that love and hip hop check, dude. Now, did you see this, bro? You're out in LA, but did you know this? This story just broke this weekend. U-Haul ran out of trucks in California, bro.
I saw that. People moving all over the place.
Dude. California and Illinois ranked 49th and 50th in round trip U-Haul use. Most of the usage from California and Illinois are one way. So what does that let you know? Let you know. I can tell you the number one reason: taxes for both states.
Yeah.
Taxes for both states are ridiculous. And people are heading to Texas and Florida. One way from both states.
Look, all I gotta say is super chat us up, baby. You know where we at.
So U-Haul. Last but not
U-Haul,
least.
yeah, I mean it's petty. It's petty that it came down to that. Taxes done forced U-Haul to almost go out of business in California.
U-Haul's almost going out of business in California. So this is the petty thing because I am in broadcasting, man, and work both in radio and TV. I saw this clip on social media, and every producer that was in the control room, they have to go on the petty train for what happened to this reporter on the scene.
Starting to experience, unfortunately, in freeze thaw, we see this water main breaks.
Got hit by a car, but I'm okay. I just got hit by a car, but I'm okay, Tim.
That's the first for you on TV, Tori.
Oh. We're all good. I'm okay. Yeah, that's live TV for you. It's all good. I actually got hit by a car in college, too, just like that.
Wow.
I am so glad I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're okay. We're all good.
Look.
This is
say something.
Bro, look here, man. WVAZ in West Virginia. Everybody back in the control room.
Gotta get beat up.
You're on the petty train. Because first of all, you're on a delay. You saw it happen before it went out over the airwaves. And you were too busy laughing in the studio and let that go out over the airwaves for that was embarrassing for that reporter, man. And she was a G because she kept reporting during the tumble.
Yo. I'm fighting everybody there. First of all, how you the cameraman looking at me, seeing the car coming and not saying nothing?
Not say nothing. Thank you. Everybody goes on the petty train. Everybody. That's crazy. So I gotta see that again.
Starting to experience, unfortunately, in freeze thaw, we see this.
I'm like, hey, watch out.
Got hit by a car, but I'm okay. I just got hit by a car, but I'm okay, Tim.
That's
I'm okay.
Woo!
We're all good. I'm okay. Yeah, that's live TV for you. It's all good. I actually got hit by a car in college, too, just like that.
Wow.
I am so glad I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're okay.
Yo.
You cannot be recruited at Notre Dame if you do not have a head on the swivel like her. She wouldn't be on the prospect list at all.
She couldn't play special teams at all. At all. Come on, fam. I felt so bad for her, man.
Yeah.
And the driver needs to go on the petty train too.
Yeah, absolutely. Pay attention. You see that person standing there.
Road rage. Like, man, honk the horn. If you need
You hitting people that standing still, man. You can't drive.
Crazy. Subscribe, share, like, let everybody know about the Lucky Lefty podcast. We spend a different Also available on Apple Podcasts, on A2S Network, and as always, presented and brought to you by Anora Whiskey. Go to AnoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey. That's right, AnoraWhiskey.com. For my boy Malik Zaire, I'm Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics at Old Time Malik. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for another edition of the Lucky Lefty Podcast. As always, spin it different today.
Holla.